Welcome back to Tesla Time Travels. We are in London today, standing outside the last home of Amy Winehouse, the house she died in, and according to her own father, the house she never really left. She moved here at 20 years old and called Camden her playground. Before anyone knew her name, she was selling candles at a market stall nearby, working behind the bar at local pubs, hanging around musicians and artists and regular people who had absolutely no idea they were standing next to someone who would become one of the most recognizable voices in the world. Back to Black in 2006 changed everything. Right there, number 30, her father Mitch renovated this entire property for her after she came back from time away in St. Lucia. He wanted it to feel like a fresh start, like somewhere she could finally have privacy and breathe. She only lived here 4 months. Look at the front garden, still maintained, still quiet, and directly across from the house, fans still leave flowers and notes at the memorial tree. That tree has had tributes on it since the day she died. They have never stopped. People still travel here from all over the world just to stand outside this house. Now let me show you the inside of this house. 3 bedrooms, 3 reception rooms, front and back gardens, a classic London home. The kitchen had a black and white retro checkered floor that Mitch specifically designed for her. Large windows, natural light, a space that was meant to feel peaceful. Her mother Janice later joked she was not exactly thrilled with some of the decor choices, which honestly sounds exactly like family. And for a while, this house was supposed to represent a reset. But Winehouse was already trapped between fame and isolation by this point. Paparazzi waited outside constantly. Every time she stepped out, the door cameras followed her. Camden was one of the easiest places in London for photographers to find her, and eventually she stopped going out as much. And standing here now, that part hits harder than you expect. Winehouse was found dead here on July 23, 2011. She was 27 years old. Cause of death was accidental alcohol poisoning. When the news broke, fans flooded Camden Square almost immediately. Flowers covered the sidewalks, candles lined the street. People sat outside crying. And in some ways, Camden never fully moved on from it. Now here's where the story gets stranger. Because Mitch Winehouse has talked openly for years about believing his daughter's spirit never left. In one interview, he said her spirit sits at the end of his bed and looks at him. He described seeing her face clearly, and he said even though it startled him, it also comforted him. He also believes she visits in the form of a blackbird, the same bird tattooed on her arm. Shortly after she died, a blackbird flew directly into a family window while he was visiting relatives. When they went outside, the bird calmly sat on his foot. And longtime Camden friend Pete Doherty described similar experiences. He claimed he saw Winehouse reflected in mirrors and windows inside his apartment after her death. Because when you listen to Back to Black today, it does not sound like the end of somebody's career. It sounds like the beginning of something bigger, like an artist still evolving. Our final stop is Edgwarebury Cemetery. The atmosphere here is completely different from Camden. Quiet, still. After Winehouse died, she was cremated. Her ashes were placed here beside her grandmother, Cynthia. If you know her story, you know how much that matters. Her grandmother was one of the steadying forces in her life, one of the few people who truly understood her before the fame and the chaos arrived. People close to her said losing her grandmother affected Winehouse deeply in ways she never fully recovered from. When we visited, people had left stones and small tributes nearby. Even now, new generations keep discovering her music every year. Young artists still name her as a defining influence. And fans still travel to London just to stand outside a quiet house on Camden Square and leave flowers beside a tree. Very few artists leave that kind of mark behind. That is the real thing. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, share it, and subscribe so you never miss what we find next. We travel across America and around the world finding the real places connected to famous lives, forgotten history, music legends, and stories most people drive right past. If you're like us and believe hidden stories are everywhere, subscribe and come find the next one with us. This is Tesla Time Travels.